Reading here this is from the year 2021 to 2022, House Resolution 142, 117th Congress, 2021 to 2022. It was introduced on February 22nd of 2021. This resolution condemns the banning and censorship of former President Donald Trump by specified social media platforms and technology companies, denounces censorship of conservative media accounts, and demands that these platforms and companies end their discriminatory practices to protect the principles of free speech. Now, there was another one that I read. Oh, hello, Alex Ivantalk. Hello. Please remember to share my video out and watch my other videos. Watch all of them and share them with your friends. And I'm talking about censorship today of conservatives, and sometimes it feels like it's still going on. Subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe too. House Resolution 142, condemning big tech's partisan censorship practices. In the House of Representatives, February 22nd, 2021, Mr. Lamborn for himself, Mr. Banks, and Mr. Harrell submitted the following resolution, which was referred to the Committee on Energy and Commerce, condemning big tech's partisan censorship practices. Whereas the United States is founded upon free speech, the ideas and ability of all Americans to speak freely. Whereas renowned founding fathers and printer Benjamin Franklin stated, if all printers were determined not to print anything till they were, it would offend nobody. There would be very little printed. Now let's think of this. What is printing? Because the planet Earth leaves imprints of fossils throughout the earth. And we all know that to be a fact because we have seen fossils that have been ingrained within the printing. I want to read that statement from Benjamin Franklin again because it's kind of thought-provoking. If all printers were determined not to print anything till they were sure it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed, except for the planet Earth with what it prints, and then nobody would be offended. I mean, nobody's really offended by what the planet Earth prints and the imprints that it leaves from the past. Okay, let's continue on. Whereas there have been gregarious instances of left-wing bias in Twitter, Facebook, and other California technology companies. That is a fact. That's absolutely true. Whereas the CEO of Facebook publicly noted that privately owned social media platforms should not act as arbiter of truth. That's a fact. They shouldn't. Absolutely, they shouldn't. Whereas Twitter and Facebook have banned the former president of the United States and various other conservative figures from their social media platforms. That's a fact. I was banned from Facebook my own self. So that is a fact. That does take place. There was absolutely no reason. And now Facebook can't even get a hold of me because I no longer even have that account. So if they decided to retract their banning of me, and would have actually it was 2021, I tried to get my account back, and they just, what they did was they just banned me for absolutely no reason, gave me no reason why I was banned at all. No reason. Facebook just banned me. And I'm not sure if it had to do with the things that was going on with my marriage, which it could have been. Now, there was a smart person in the chat, and they said, well, she's recording evidence if she needs it for divorce court. And I thought, you're absolutely right. So there was a smart person that was watching what was going on. And then Facebook just banned everything. And it's like, well, there goes that information where my ex-husband, he's now my ex-husband, he was gaslighting me. He called a divorce attorney in the middle of the disagreement. And he was using him calling a divorce attorney, threatening divorce upon me for a place to live in the midst of the argument and disagreement. And then it wasn't long after that, I just completely lost my whole Facebook account. There was no reason given, no reason at all. Whereas Twitter and Facebook have banned former President of the United States and various other conservative figures from their social media platforms. Whereas Apple, Amazon, and Google block conservative social media platform Parler from their... Well, Parler, I would... Isn't Parler that one? Thank you for subscribing, and ask all your other friends to subscribe too. So help. I would like to get over 1,000 so I can at least try to be monetized and hit that monetization area again. Even though I hear some from people, they say it's challenging, but it's worth a shot. We'll give it a try. Whereas Twitter and Facebook have previously agreed to provide public social media platforms free of censorship, but have not upheld their commitments. Facebook has not at all. I did fine on Twitter. Sometimes I ask myself, why don't I use Twitter for promotions? Because I never really had any problems on Twitter at all. Now it doesn't exist anymore. It's X, but I never really had much problems with Twitter. And I also hear there's another one, Mix. I think that used to be Stumbled Upon. So the website's called Mix now. It used to be Stumbled Upon, the website. Hatraz. What an interesting spelling for, Hatraz. Hatraz. Hello guys, Ellen, Ivan Talk, and Hatraz. Okay, let's continue reading this about the censorship. Whereas social media platforms such as Twitter have continued their historic lack of transparency in their implementation of their civic integrity policy. Whereas Twitter suspended the account of news outlet, the New York Post, for disseminating information detailing the corrupt and unethical dealings of President Joseph R. Biden's son, Hunter. Now, and I will say that it's very, very hard for us to use search engine optimization words because I have to tell you guys this, I'm not even sure how, there are two incidents in here in the House of Representatives it is called identifying a mass shooter. I believe it's from 2022 and 2024. Yeah, 2023 to 2024. And this one is from 2021 to 2022. So there's two resolutions of identifying mass shooters of these mass shooting events that are taking place. So Congress is trying to identify who the mass shooters are in these events. And they don't know who they are. So clearly they still don't know what's going on related to media events that are taking place. They don't know what's going on. I don't believe that I can't find a resolution for the year 2025. But let's continue on reading this other thing. Whereas Twitter permanently banned Mike Lindell, American businessman and conservative voice, arbitrarily from its platform. I suspect that Mike Lindell was probably spamming. Some of them are probably spamming. I suspect that Donald Trump was probably spamming in some way. Maybe he didn't think about that. Whereas Twitter permanently banned Michael Flynn, a former United States Army Lieutenant General, from the National Security Advisor. It just banned him. I wonder why it banned him. Whereas Twitter and other platforms are setting a dangerous precedent in their trend toward censorship of faith-based organizations with sincerely held religious beliefs from any others may disagree with. And I suspect that could be for spam. That it very well might be, because we all know religion has repetitive content. So anybody who's conservative and does things that with repetition is going to get censored and banned due to repetition. And it's like, well, okay, how do we do anything on the internet? How do conservative people do anything on the internet that's repetitive, such as knitting, crochet? I'm not interested in just telling someone, oh, well, so-and-so already has it on the internet, go watch them. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, if I can't make it work for myself, I'm not just going to recommend for someone to go watch someone else just because they already have a library of content on the internet. I'm just not going to do that, so it's basically the internet saying, well, you don't want me to participate, you don't want to pay me, and so you are censoring through money. The internet censors through money too, and I would like for people to think about this, that the internet is censoring through money. When you just pull money And, so it's just basically like getting fired by the algorithm, and you don't know why. More people need to think of it like that you got fired by the algorithm, by the advertisers, and you don't know why. You have absolutely no reason why. You've tried to stay above the fold, above what they call the belt line. So they call a belt line above the videos, such as staying above the fold in the sense of you're making content that's for everyone to watch, that even kids could watch it for the most part, even though there could be a few negligent words every once in a while, or something that could be deemed not appropriate for kids. However, but if the kids are on the internet watching it and YouTube approves of it, it's probably a word that most people are using anyway. I mean, how do we use the word sex? I think we should be able to use the word sex without being censored. And YouTube has been censoring the word sex. So this means that on YouTube we can't even teach sex as education or the proper word. No wonder kids have a hard time expressing to the police when they've been molested, because now the internet is allowing for censorship and making a job for a police officer and an investigator harder. When you have a kid calling private parts something else or referencing a banana, and it's like, well, okay, well, is the kid actually reference talking about a banana, or did some man decide to call his wee wee a banana? Well, what is a wee wee? Okay, so let's continue on reading about the censorship that's taking place on the platforms. Whereas Twitter and other platforms, now let me add in here too, the multi-channel networks, they're a big part of the problem too. Because they cause censorship. They want the money going to them because they've been promoting things negligently, and they're using the migrants from outside of the United States as part of their networks. Whereas Twitter permanently banned Michael Flynn and former United States Army Lieutenant General, former National Security Advisor. Whereas Twitter and other platforms are setting a dangerous precedent in their trend towards censorship and faith-based organizations with sincerely held religious beliefs that others may disagree with. Whereas Twitter banned conservative group Focus on the Family, a news website, The Daily Citizen, from its platform for stating a biological sex of Rachel Levine. And really, basic family, the two genders has been banned too. Think about that. How powerful is that? The two genders have been banned. So a man and woman relationship has essentially been banned on the internet to favor that of pushing forth the same gender. Now, the truth is, I don't care what people do. I've always stated that. If they want to do that in their private life, they have every right to go swinging from the chandeliers through every hotel if they have a budget for that. They can go on swinging through the chandeliers of every hotel room. You do what you want to do. You do you in that hotel, and you go swinging on through the country. You're just advertising. That's all you're doing. You're just advertising because there's such a low percentage of people who are same gender. They have a hard time finding someone else to play their same gender game. And it's like, well, I'm not out there advertising that I'm a heterosexual. Maybe I should. It's like, yay, I'm a heterosexual. Oh, I almost messed up as homo sapien, homosexual, the homogenous milk. I'm a heterosexual and I like men. I always have liked men. I've had children in the hospital. The hospital knows that I'm a woman and I like men. They've watched people, doctors have watched babies come out of my hoo-ha. Should we call it a hoo-ha or a real name? But no, on the internet, if we reference the vajayjay, or anything else, if we call it a vagina, we're probably going to get in trouble for it a little bit. And so we have to call it a hoo-ha. Well, okay, so some little kid is trying to explain to Mr. Police Officer, well, so-and-so touched the hoo-ha. Well, what is your hoo-ha? And then they're pointing over to a bowl of cereal. And, and it's like, well, what in the hell? I mean, what is this kid talking about? Someone said they were molested, and now you've got a game of charades with little honey doo-doo head trying to figure out if there's something really wrong with this child, or if they're just having a moment of clarity in, how kids will take you on a wild goose chase, and you end up going on a path to nowhere. If you follow, it's just like a dog. If you let your dog lead you, you end up on a path to nowhere. Just like if you let your toddler and your three-year old lead you, they're going to take you on a trip. They're going to take you on a journey, and you're just going to keep going and going and going, far away from where you live. That's where they're going to take you because they want to explore. But the both of them do. Dogs have the mentality of that of a third grader, second grader, and toddlers, same mentality. So, whereas Twitter suspended Catholic World Report's account for stating the biological sex of Rachel Levine, whereas Twitter permanently banned